Hi guys, and welcome to yet another episode of Game Chat. I'm Chris, and with me today we have Jake.
Hello.
And we have Corey.
Hello.
And today's episode is basically a big spoiler cast for Spider-Man 2, because there's a lot that happens in that game. We want to talk about it. But first, what I want to do is just spoiler-free thoughts, just very quickly. Just go around the room and ask what you think. So, Corey, you want to go first?
Oh, okay. I think it's a very good game. I think the gameplay is fantastic. I think the story in the first game was a bit better. But I think overall the game's brilliant. And at the end, you're way overpowered for Spider-Man.
Yeah. Jake?
It was pretty good.
Do you want to elaborate at all? Or?
No, I really enjoyed it. I think it built well on the first and the Miles game.
Yeah.
There was one thing that I thought they kind of took a step backwards on, which was kind of annoying. But apart from that, I had two things actually. But apart from that, it was really enjoyable. It was worth the money.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I think I am in a similar boat to you, Corey, where it's like, I really enjoyed it. I think the gameplay is 100% better. Because I recently went back and tried to play the first one, and I can't. I just the swinging and everything just feels not as good as like Miles and this one. But other than that, the gameplay improvements really good. Love the wingsuits and all that. Story wise, I've never been a big fan of the symbiote story, across all of Spider-Man. I've never really liked it that much. I think this is one of the better. Say again.
That's controversial.
I know, yeah. I think it's one of the better versions of it that I've seen. But I don't know. I just find all the symbiote stuff kind of goofy. But yeah, I still enjoyed it. It still had the emotional moments, and I think some of the character work they did with especially Miles, Harry and people like that, really good. Still not a fan of Peter's face that they changed. Can't get on board with that.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And he's got a very thick neck.
Yeah, they did kind of give him sleep apnea.
He's got a massive neck. But other than that, really enjoyed the game. I think it's one of the better games of this year, in a year of many good games. But yeah, that's spoiler free. So we're going to move on to spoilers now. So if anyone's watching that hasn't finished the game, stop watching now.
Spider-Man's in it.
Yeah, spoilers. Spider-Man's involved. There's two of them. But yeah, go away, then come back when you finish the game. So, where do we want to start in terms of spoilers? Any big revelations people want to talk about in the game?
Where should we start? Should we start with the characters? So, what do we all think of Peter in this game?
I like the way his character went.
Yeah.
With me and I'm a big Peter Parker fan, always have been, and it's I feel less connected to him as a character now. I don't know why. I just feel I connect more with Miles, more in terms of I just think he's a better Spider-Man. But I am kind of gone.
Yeah, I think the fact that you've had the two Miles films come out. You've had the last game that came out was a Miles game.
Yeah,
and I feel like the story in this, even weirdly, even though it's most all about him and Harry, is weirdly less personal than it was in the first game.
Yeah.
And that's probably why you're feeling a little bit more disconnected with Peter in this compared to Miles, I reckon.
Yeah, and I think you can kind of
as well. The first portion of the game, Miles has his Venom powers.
Yeah.
And Peter's just got those arms.
So, yeah, the arms were a bit shit. I didn't like the arms.
And obviously, with the Sandman enemies in the opening,
you're way better in Miles, yeah.
As Miles, so I think the game kind of pushes you to play as Miles more, especially in the first half of the game.
Yeah.
It's crazy how the power leveling works in this game because Miles is more powerful than Peter at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, I was worried about that going into the game because, like, after playing Miles, I was like, "There's no way we're going to go back to just normal Peter."
Exactly. The whole point is that Peter's more experienced, so he makes it up with experience. But when you're the one controlling him, they've got the same experience.
Yeah.
So Miles starts off more powerful, and then just later on, that just completely flips.
Yeah,
and then Peter becomes like a beast.
Yeah,
way more powerful than I've seen Spider-Man realistically be in anything else. Other than the times he's got like mystic powers, it's insane how powerful he is in this game.
Yeah, I liked like having the more experienced Peter, like having the older Peter, because we very rarely get that in Spider-Man media just generally right now, especially like movies and stuff. They never really get that far before they start again and get a new actor.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad we're getting, especially towards the end of the game, obviously when he's like sort of semi-retiring. Like I'm kind of glad we're getting that, and he's going to kind of take a backseat in that. And I think this is like you never get Peter training Miles, and I'm glad we got that in this game. Like you never get that really, other than the comics. You only really get it in the comics. You haven't had it in movies or anything like that. And I think I want the movies to get there, but I worry that they won't. But I'm glad the game did it because it's something I've always wanted to like kind of experience in a video game or a movie.
I feel like that was a missed opportunity in this game. Like they could have had, like you've always had these side missions in these Spider-Man games, and these little like go here and then do these particular things in order to get the mission complete. They could have had one side mission which is dedicated for Peter showing Miles how to do things. And,
I feel like he'd already got to that point though, because he obviously had his own game, and he's already got.
Oh no! Miles, even like that was just a missed opportunity. Like they just went from Miles, suddenly he's got Spider-Man powers, to he's now just fully fledged Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and you didn't see anything in between. You were just told.
Yeah, I like them working together against Sandman. I think that was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah. And when you have those little fights in the street, and then they're both there, you go down, lend a hand, and then they do the combo attacks and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah,
they've got that stuff figured out well.
But yeah, I just like having the more experienced Peter.
When given the choice, who did you play the game as more of? Was it Peter or was it Miles?
You were about to say, was it Spider-Man or Spider-Man Wayne?
Spider-Man.
They did put that in the game. They put the pointy thing in the game.
Yeah.
I love that.
I kept forgetting that you could change, so I just played as whoever I played the last mission as.
I did that quite a bit.
Yeah.
I still think Miles plays better.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does he swing faster? Or is that just me? Like, imagining that.
So.
I feel like he swings faster. I don't know. Maybe
he swings differently, so he's more like erratic with his swing.
Yeah, that might seem like it's faster just from the animations, I guess.
Body movement when he's swinging compared to what Peter does, yeah. So maybe that's why it feels a bit more speedy.
Yeah,
but they've got the same rate as far as I can tell.
Fair enough. I think I preferred my playing as Miles. Just like obviously, he felt very different in his own game, and then obviously coming into this, I feel like maybe that's just because it's more fresh the way he plays. I don't know.
Yeah. I like his powers, and obviously he develops more powers as he goes on, and they're both. Well, Miles gets more of his electricity powers, which he thinks are coming from Martin Lee, but they're not. They're just starting to develop as he develops. That's how I saw it.
I thought they were coming from Martin Lee.
No, I've got a feeling that it was more of like an emotional outburst.
Yeah,
and that's what started bringing out his powers. Because even then, there's a point later on where Martin Lee turns to him and he thanks Martin Lee for his powers, and Martin's like, "I didn't give you shit, bro. This is all you." I feel like it's just that as he's becoming more confident with himself, and as he has like emotional outbursts, basically he unlocks extra powers.
I think that's why I preferred Miles' story, especially with the Martin Lee stuff, because I feel like that was more emotional than anything that was on the Peter side.
Yeah.
And it also links to the first game more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely feel like the Martin Lee stuff was some of the stronger points of their story.
Martin Lee's cool in this game. Yeah, I like the negative in this game. They did him well.
Yeah.
They did him well.
Yeah.
All the stuff that they had around him, and him turn not well. He's obviously he's good at the end. That's his spoiler. This is a spoiler cast. But yeah, I like what they did with him. I
liked how he did the whole.
He seemed in the first game. He's got points where he's reluctant to do what he's doing. There's no forgiving him. Like he killed tons of people.
Yeah.
But he did redeem himself a bit, at least. He's definitely going back to prison.
Yeah.
But I like his stuff. Yeah. With Miles, I like what they were doing with him. I like with the story. I feel like he's much more confident than he was in the previous game. He's more sure of what his Spider-Man is as opposed to just being Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's kind of making it his own.
Disgusting suit at the end there.
That suit.
I like that suit. I'm the only one who likes that suit.
You are incorrect, sir. You know that suit was designed by Adidas.
Yeah, I heard that the other day. Yeah. I still think that's weird. Do not like that. That's kind of gross.
No, don't need that in a Spider-Man game.
But I kind of like the suit though. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's horrible. It's horrible.
I like his hair being out. Gives him more like character.
I like his hair. I don't like him when he's only the hair.
I don't know. I mean, I like the suit. I don't like the shoes. That's the one thing I don't like.
Yeah, but I like him. I like him a lot more in this game than I did in Miles Morales. He was good in Miles Morales, but he's much more of his own thing. In this.
Yeah, his own character.
It's good. Yeah, I prefer him in this than I do to Miles Morales. I prefer Peter in Spider-Man 1 more, but I prefer Miles in this more than in the Miles game.
What do you guys think of Harry?
I liked his character. I just think it would have been better, and this is more of an issue with the first game, really. I think it would have been better if he was more part of Peter's life in the first game. Yeah.
Like we did actually.
He just kind of shows up, and the game's like, oh, there's a connection there. They have like one little flashback to show that they've been friends a long time, but there's nothing for the player to really anchor onto.
Yeah.
No. In the first game, you have those pods that Harry set up around the city, didn't you?
Yeah.
And that silence pods. But other than that,
that's all you got.
It's mentioned a few times. Yeah. It's mentioned a few times, and then he comes back and he's like, "Oh, everything like they're best buds in the entire world." Yeah. It's like, okay, well, like that did kind of come out of nowhere. I agree with that. So I think Harry was cool. It didn't have a ton going on in this before he became Venom. Really, like he had his Venom powers. He didn't know he had his Venom powers. Well, he didn't know what it was, which I think was cool.
Yeah,
and they developed.
He knew he had something, but he didn't know that's what it was.
He didn't know that he had even any powers at all. He thought it was just keeping him alive.
Yeah.
But he was fine. He was fine as a story point, but that's all he really was.
I liked him as a character. Like, I don't normally like Harry's in any Spider-Man media, but like this one, I don't normally like the Harrys, but like I liked him as a character. I thought he was fun when he was like a good guy. Obviously, when he went full Venom, I was just like, well, this is a bit of a quick turn, like. But
he did, that was crazy, wasn't it? Like, look how long Spider-Man held out, and then Harry's just like, well, I guess Harry had a suit for long before that as well.
Yeah, but he was not. But what I thought was weird, he was still nice with the suit, but as soon as it went on to Peter, Peter got all fucking like, Bully Maguire type thing, and it was just like
it was like go through it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess. But then I suppose when Harry got the Venom suit back, he was already angry at that point, I guess.
Yeah, he'd already learned.
He hated Peter for his daddy issues.
Yeah, I just know it just felt like a bit of a quick turn. That's all. Like that. It just kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, okay, now he's evil Venom. Cool.
I felt like when he got the suit back, it was just all Venom, and there was no more real Harry left in there. Like Venom was playing on Harry's stuff in order to like say certain things and do stuff, but it was Venom. It was the symbiote taking control and doing what the symbiote wanted to do, not Harry.
I liked the bits where it was like the symbiote was using his mum's voice to talk to him. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I also with him.
I also liked like how he had his little like Venom superhero suit before he was actual full on Venom. Like how it looked, like how it changed to kind of mimic Spider-Man a bit.
Even though it's the suit, it like designed itself to look like like normal armor.
And like when it touched like Pete for a bit, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get a little spider on my chest now.
yeah.
Venom's there, like graphic design, man. But yeah, I liked Harry. I thought he was a decent character. Except for the like towards the end where I was just like, okay then. But I feel well. They're definitely going to go the Goblin route now, right? With Harry.
Yeah, I'd say so. No, with Norman.
See, I'd say Harry because they're going to use the G thingy on Harry. So
maybe.
I feel like that's going to go. I think eventually.
Though he looks like a leprechaun. I don't like him.
I kind of think both of them. I kind of think both of them will become Goblin.
I reckon it will be Norman.
Yeah, do you feel like he's going to test it out on himself first?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, or he'll accidentally inject himself or some bullshit, but he'll be Norman. He'll die, and then whatever else is going to happen, we'll get Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin will be DLC for Spider-Man 3, something like that.
Yeah. Either way, I'm happy we're getting the Goblin. I Goblin's one of my favourite Spider-Man villains, so... And I thought, getting into... We've had, basically 3 Spider-Man games and we haven't seen a Goblin. I'm like, we need to get a Goblin. But, yeah. What did you think of how they dealt with a lot of the... You know what? Before we get onto this, Kraven. Thoughts on Kraven?
Kraven's cool, man. I liked Kraven.
Really cool. I liked the fact that he was getting a bit kinky when Venom choked him out.
Yeah, when he was harder. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I liked his characterization. I liked the little quests where you could go around the bases and learn about his family. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
His dead family.
Yeah. They killed each other.
They literally all just killed each other off. Man. I liked his justification of that he's got mega cancer and he's dying and this is his last hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that stuff's cool. And he was super hench. He was.
Absolutely beast.
I liked him. He was a good villain. It was a good segue to get to Venom and to show you how strong Venom is, because obviously we've struggled with Kraven a lot before.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Venom comes along and just bodies him, you're like, well, shit, this is real.
Yeah. And he absolutely just eats his head, bites it off.
Spider-Man so far.
Wild.
That's Venom at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I was thinking, are they going to do anything like that? And yeah, there it was. There it is. Good. No, I like Kraven. It's crazy he managed to infiltrate bloody New York as well as he did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All that crazy stuff up.
Yeah.
Where's the army, bro? What's going on?
I know. Yeah. I think it's
because the Avengers were on holiday
again. Yeah, I was about to say that. They're just always not there.
in the first game, I can kind of see it because it's like a paramilitary force coming in and doing the extra things. This was a world-ending event.
Yeah.
Venom was a world-ending event.
And the Avengers was like, not my problem.
We know that Doctor Strange and Wong was in the fucking back in New York because they
were just in the one to make sure it hadn't picked up any dust.
It's ridiculous. It's insane.
I get why as a video game, because obviously they don't have licenses for a lot of these characters to do, but it's still a bit weird.
It can't be that hard to get a license though.
I think they can get a license for certain ones.
This one's really pushing it a bit. This one's really pushing it. There's no way that higher powers aren't getting involved with the Venom bullshit.
You say that though, but Venom stuff happens in Spider-Man all the time, and they don't get involved then.
Not like trying to convert
true.
The
entirety of New York is gone. Did you see it?
Yeah. It's true.
This is insane. This was less than what Loki did in Avengers 1.
Yeah.
I mean, this was more than what Loki did in Avengers 1. This is insane.
Yeah. It is a bit weird.
Turning all the people into symbiotes and shit, just mad. Yeah, it's insane that Spider-Man was just left to deal with it. Spider-Man and Pro MLG, Call of Duty God, Mary Jane Watson were there to deal with symbiotes.
You know what, though? We asked for those missions to be better, and they got better. We can't complain about that.
I really like Mary Jane in this game, and she was my least favourite part of Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, I didn't hate her.
When you get someone to be as powerful as Spider-Man, easy, you give them a gun.
That's legit. How you do it. The thing is, though, she's, if anything, was more powerful. She's shooting in one shot, and it takes a good few hits for Spider-Man to do it.
Crazy. Why don't we just give the police his guns, Peter? You could have sorted this out ages ago.
Yeah. That's the only reason they had Silver Sable, just so she could get that gun. That's where she got it from. What I was gonna say was like with Craven, like I liked how they made you know how fucking powerful and beastie he is because he killed a decent amount at the fucking Sinister Six.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting him to like just straight up kill, to kill people.
Like when he kills Scorpion, I'm like, whoa,
that was
okay.
brutal, man. yeah. Scorpion was nothing to him.
Kind of devastated though, because there's like he killed Scorpion, he killed Shocker, and he killed Vulture. I love all three of those. Huh?
He killed all the three. Is killing off all the heroes.
The boys
overused.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. We've Peter didn't.
We get to see some interesting new characters.
True.
Yeah.
Goblin.
Yeah. I also find it weird that like a lot of the side mission like bad guys like you look at like Mysterio and he's kind of like a good guy now, which is weird, and like retired.
Yeah.
Which I didn't like. Like
reformed, like him and Tombstone are really Tombstone.
Yeah, but I was just kind of like, how long is that gonna last? Like Mysterio's not meant to be like a reformed dude that's living his life now. He's a bit of a puss, to be honest.
always space for a second chance for people.
I mean, I suppose that is one of the themes of this, especially with the Miles and Martin Lee stuff. So. I guess.
Because that's one of the main story events, wasn't it? It was Peter saying to him, "Oh, I didn't even manage this." So, but he said that, and then Tombstone and Mysterio's over there, like living up life, like kind of
Tombstone, the go-kart man, apparently.
he loves it. He's doing
because he can walk out on the tracks and not get hurt.
True.
Yeah, and he's a mechanic, isn't he? It's his whole thing, his whole deal.
I think it is weird that like. If you hadn't played the DLC for the first Spider-Man, a lot of these side quests would not make sense. Like, especially the one with like Rafe. Like,
I didn't really like her in this game.
Not a fan. No, I didn't like the way they took it. I like that Rafe was done because it's very rarely
I like the way they took the character, but I just don't think they wrote her very well. She was very one note.
Yeah. She's like, I kill people now because I shot that one guy in the head in the DLC. We didn't get that development. We just kind of go,
I think they could have wrote her character a lot better.
Yeah. Just the embodiment of anger in this, basically, isn't she?
She looked cool. I like the outfit. She looked cool. But, yeah.
She did look cool.
Like the version that you get when you've done all the quests. That was kind of ugly.
Yeah. What do you think of that quest anyway? Because that's, I reckon that, if anything, that's the quest that leads to DLC for this one.
100% Carnage is going to be DLC for this game.
Yeah. Because it wouldn't make sense to be a separate game, because it would make sense doing another symbiote as DLC for the symbiote game. You know what I mean? So I think definitely Carnage DLC. So we'll get more Rafe, more than likely.
They'll do that as DLC for this, for sure. As long as they don't try and do like the same, they won't do the same sort of stuff, because obviously it's more unhinged than Venom ever was. But
it's more about himself than creating all Venoms as well. Like, so it's more just him.
Yeah, it'll be more like him. Like being him. He'll probably be more like Scream was.
Oh, I like that, the Scream stuff. That was a nice surprise.
She did look like she was made out of ketchup and mustard, though.
Yeah.
She did, yeah.
I knew, like, as soon as he was, like, put behind the desk, I was like, well, she's going to turn into a symbiote now. When he started, putting his tentacle, we're giving her all 12 inches of fucking venom. And then she'd come up and she was fucking got the big hair. Was it 19 inches? I don't know. Yeah. But she got big ass hair. I was like, I can't believe they just turned her into Scream. Just out of nowhere. I loved it. No, she was well harsh on Peter while she was Scream as well. Yeah, 100%. Like, you can't pay a mortgage, bitch.
That was it. Like, that entire fight was them redeeming, them dealing with their personal issues,
personal problems.
Normally go through, because Pete's always
in front of all the neighbours, all the neighbours behind the curtain, just like, ooh.
I know this is supposed to make me think like, oh, she's been so harsh to Peter, but I was like, she's right. Like,
yeah, she is.
Yeah. It's hard being married to Spiderman, I tell you.
What else?
And what's her name's gonna find out that what's the Peter's Miles's new girlfriend called? What's her name again?
Like Haley.
Haley. Yeah, the deaf one. Did you do that little mission? The mission?
Yeah, with the graffiti.
That was cool. Like how they did that.
The design of the mission was so cool, but I hate missions where you can't fight.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is so long.
Yeah, I think that there was a few missions that were like obviously you're not fighting, so you got that. You had the
you fighting the sister.
True.
You got the. Did you do the pigeon one?
I did.
Oh my god! I didn't expect to be as attached to Howard as I was when it happened. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Well, I could tell that he's gonna die. This is going somewhere.
Yeah, when you're like he's letting all his pigeons go, I was like,
Yeah, and it was cool flying around the city like
with the music.
They set up obviously the slipstream specifically for it, so you can get around everywhere really easily, and it was cool. And then you get back, he's dead, and it's like, well, shit.
Yeah. And then there was one with the grandpa on the bench. That was a weird one.
Yeah, that was a nice guy.
That was cute. Yeah.
Yeah, that one with the grandpa, yeah. And then the one with the robot guide dog.
Oh yeah.
That was great.
But you go back. Did you notice if you go back, she ain't there anymore? So she's like dead.
Just in the house, isn't it? You can't have her in your house.
I suppose.
I was gonna say, a Spider-Man murdered an old lady.
Like the dogs just ate her.
Let's go back to characters, and so we just did Craven. Venom himself. What do we think of Venom? The big
didn't get enough of Venom himself, in my opinion.
You don't think?
No, because it kind of just like the turn happened, and then it was like, oh, you're going towards the end game now, and I was like, oh, so we don't really get much of Venom himself.
Venom was probably like a third of the game. It felt short because by the time you get to Venom, you've probably done most of the side content.
Yeah, no, I have. Yeah, that's true.
A lot of time doing side content.
Yeah.
But the side content, strangely enough, is still there, even when the city's all Venomed up, which is kind of mad. So if you wanted to hold it off till then, you can. But like when you get to that point in these sorts of games, I'm always like, well, realistically, you've got to deal with this the problem. Like you can't just keep going on doing other things. You've got to deal with
You're not just leaving everyone as a symbiote where you go and ride a bike for a fucking science experiment. Like
exactly. Like imagine all this is going on, and then you go, but I'm going to play as Miles and go and help out my old school friends. Like you're not realistically going to be doing that, are you?
No.
To be honest,
his old school friends realistically would be symbiotes at that point.
Can't be dealing with that. Huh?
His old school friends realistically at that point would be symbiotes.
But exactly. You can't. Yeah, so that's why it felt shorter. But I feel like there's a decent amount of missions when Venom came along. There's still a decent amount of missions to do that.
I feel like we didn't get much in terms of Venom's motivations for why he was there and what he was doing.
Venom's biggest motivation in this was that Venom really wanted that Peter Dick. That's what Venom wanted. He desperately did. Venom doubled down on, I need Peter Parker.
I want that twink obliterated.
Honestly, he wanted it.
It's like, why? Like, it's just like random. Like, I don't know. It's just a bit of a weird one.
He wanted to rebuild the world, didn't he? And he wanted Spider-Man to do it with. He wanted Spider-Man to be his king. That's what it is.
It's just a bit.
And I think it factors into the fact that Venom, when he was with Spider-Man, because this is canonically how it went. This is why he looks like Spider-Man, isn't it? But when he was one with Spider-Man, he realized how strong Spider-Man is, and what he's got going on, and that's why he mimics like a bunch of his powers and stuff afterwards. It's like, he knows that Spider-Man is like something special.
Yeah,
like he's a symbiote as well. So like, although he's like a parasite essentially to Harry, he gets part of what Harry is as well.
Yeah.
So like, because Harry idolizes Peter so much and wants to fix the world with Peter, that's why he's like so obsessed.
Yeah.
Do you think it's double whammy? Where as opposed to like traditional, where it's Eddie Brock and he just hates Spider-Man, wants to kill him.
I'm glad it wasn't Eddie.
A different play on that sort of thing. Yeah.
I'm glad it was Harry. I mean, we all saw it coming because of the end credit scene of the first one, but like, I'm glad it wasn't Eddie. And I'm kind of glad it didn't. At one point, I thought it might have latched onto Craven, but I'm
I'm
glad it
thinking
didn't.
that at one point, like maybe this hate is going to be coming from Craven. That's why he gets so big and edge. But no, he just.
I mean, I guess the only because like Venom latches onto the strong, he probably sensed the cancer and thought, no, maybe not.
Yeah.
And that's my only reason I would think he wouldn't.
Anyway.
Yeah, so it's like, why didn't he latch onto Craven? Because that would have made more sense, right?
Also, the other side of it is that Spider-Man was physically strong enough to just tear Venom off of him.
Yeah.
Craven probably would have been as well, whereas Harry had no chance.
Yeah.
Harry had to come to Venom,
and
Venom was in control, whereas he couldn't do that with Harry. He couldn't do that with Peter, and he probably wouldn't have managed to do that with Craven. He probably got freaked out with how demonic Craven is alone.
Yeah.
To be honest, and how messed up Craven is.
Yeah, he probably saw Craven as someone who actually could defeat him.
Yeah, Craven would have retained control, if anything, because he's just that much stronger, and he's just that more like single-minded than any of the other characters Craven was in this. That was another good part of his character. Cool. But I did like the part where you get to play as Venom. Like, I wasn't expecting
it was short-lived, but
yeah, short-lived, but it literally just running around like Hulk ultimate destruction and everything. It was excellent.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And just showing how powerful he is. And then you get to the end, and then he turns into like Devil Venom.
Oh, with his wings. His big ass wings.
Big ass wings. Yeah. It's like, wow, he's a very powerful.
This is what I mean about like the symbiote story. Like stuff like that is a bit goofy in my mind. I'm just like, cool. Okay then. Getting a bit wild.
Go crazy, why not? But like, this is what these games are. They take the storyline stuff and they turn it up to 11 because it's a video game.
Yeah.
And everyone's way more powerful than they are in anything else. Because it's a video game, it makes for good gameplay. That's how you end up with a Venom that can literally consume the entire of New York, and you end up with like Superman, Spider-Man, basically. Like, Spider-Man is so powerful at the end of this, it's insane.
Yeah,
how strong Spider-Man is at the end of Spider-Man. Spider-Man, he was ridiculous, and I'm
going to retire. Yeah, I'm done.
I'm going to retire until you get out of this cutscene.
Yeah, literally.
To be fair, though, we all know he's going to retire until Gobbo comes around, and then he's going to have to fight Goblin because it's either going to be Norman or Harry.
It's going to find out that it's Peter, and that's how Peter's going to get pulled back in Spider-Man.
Well, this is the thing. If Harry,
he's going to find out though, because Doc Ock told him to go get fucked.
He'll find out some other way.
But if Harry becomes Goblin, Harry knows. So maybe Norman knows through Harry at that point. Maybe it lets slip. Or if Harry becomes a Goblin, then he just knows already.
Or maybe he just looks at this several 100,000 times that he's going around without his mask on, or the fact that Mary Jane is standing there holding Spider-Man's hand while his son gets taken away in his helicopter.
Mary Jane was screaming all of her and Peter's life drama while fighting him.
All he's got to do is like get in contact with fucking nosy Nora next door, who was like curtain peeking when they're having a big argument.
If I lived on that road, I'd have been like making notes. He doesn't pay mortgage.
But it's insane that they don't know who Spider-Man is in this. By the end of the game. There's no way they couldn't.
The end of Miles Morales, because the end of Miles Morales is the same as the ending for the Hannah Montana movie.
Is it?
What?
So in the Hannah Montana movie, she takes her wig off mid-concert to reveal that she's in fact Miley. And everyone at the concert's just like, we won't tell anyone so you can continue to live your secret life, it's fine. And that's what happens at the end of Miles Morales. His mask falls off.
It's like the it's like the Tobey Maguire train scene.
Don't worry.
That's how Hailey finds out, isn't it? It's because she's there at the end of Spider-Man Miles Morales.
So they ripped off Hannah Montana.
The funny thing, Hannah Montana ripped off Spider-Man 2 from the train scene.
Yeah.
True. I don't know which one. Yeah, that would have come first.
Yeah.
That was 2003.
Yeah.
Was that Spider-Man 2 or was that Spider-Man 1?
That was 2002. Spider-Man 2.
No, did that happen? Which Spider-Man film did that happen in the train scene?
2.
It was 2?
It's definitely 2.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but yeah.
Because that was a good scene. I didn't like 3, so it might kind of been 3.
It's definitely not 3. I just couldn't remember if it was 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, excellent. But yeah, what character are we talking about again? What was he on about?
I mean, who haven't we spoke about?
We spoke about Venom.
We spoke about both villains. Yeah.
Who should we go to next? Mary Jane. What was everyone thinking of Mary Jane stuff?
Her missions are better.
We spoke about it a little bit.
Yeah, she kind of I liked how involved she was in a way, because it's like she's very important to Peter, and like she's kind of like his rock in life.
Yeah,
it keeps him going, and that's why I like. If she wasn't involved, it would kind of feel like, you know, and like the fact that when he was going down the rabbit hole of fucking being a dickhead to her, like seeing that relationship kind of like she's like going to like fucking Miles and like saying what the fuck's going on kind of thing, seeing that kind of like take its toll on them when they actually came together at the end to help each other out, it made it even more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you like, she could obviously tell something was going on because this isn't the normal Peter. I think it helped out Peter a lot, the fact that she got turned into Scream, and then she got like the inside look of what's like.
She's like, oh shit, I know how you're feeling.
I'll get it now. Get it now.
I think hers was worse.
But no, she was good. Her sections, I think her sections are definitely better than they were in the first game. There was more to do.
Like more horror to her sections, especially that bit when you're going down the tunnel when Peter's Venom.
Yeah.
Like, the horror they put into that, I was like sick.
You could take a screenshot of that and tell people it was Resident Evil, and they'd believe you.
Yeah,
like that was a good section. I enjoyed that. That was a good section. I was just a bit mead that I wasn't playing Spider-Man anymore.
Yeah,
that's all it really was.
But I suppose you had to see it from her point of view of how, because obviously when you're playing it's different, but like you can see how scary he is.
Peter, like your objective couldn't be like beat the shit out of Mary Jane.
It basically was at one point.
Yeah, because like you're playing as her, you kind of like see how scary he is and see the fear in her. So I feel like that was an important scene to have, because like obviously we only saw how powerful he was. We didn't really see that side of the scary side of him.
From an actual human perspective.
From how a normie would feel seeing that on the street, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What did you think of the actual Venom suit?
Play with Evil 7 and that's what you get.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same.
What did you think of the Venom suit?
I really liked how it looked like it was made out of like tendrils.
I liked how wet it looked.
Yeah.
It got more Venom-like as he wore it more.
Yeah.
And it got more like veiny and Dick veiny as he wore it more.
I mean, that's one way of describing it.
So it looks. And it was good. And I like the white suit. The white suit was cool.
I hated that. I hate the anti-Venom suit. I just don't like the colour swap. I was just like, I don't like this.
I liked it. It was very convenient, wasn't it? It was very convenient that he just suddenly got this symbiote power.
Yeah.
I really liked that they tied in Mr. Negative to creating the anti-Venom.
Yeah. Makes sense, right? Because he's the opposite of fucking...
He's the opposite.
That
was a really good twist to like
tie it
add
in
to like the symbiote lore that's different from how it is in the comics.
Yeah.
I
liked... Go on.
Disconnected from the hive.
Yeah. I kind of like, that moment where they took away his symbiote powers for a bit.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I'm back to these arms. I kind of like that in a way, because it's like you realise how fucking OP you were with the symbiote powers. And then when you get them back, you're like, let's fucking go. But like, realising how much of a difference the fucking actual symbiote suit makes. I like the way they did that. It's really cool.
Yeah, those symbiote powers are wicked, man.
Yeah,
they're way better than the arms, the electric arms.
And I'm glad they found a way for you to keep them after you defeated him.
Well, now the question is, what happens in the next game? Is he just going to retain these mega superpowers?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I think that's why he's retiring, to be honest.
Exactly, but look, he will get pulled back in, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
or maybe he's just like gotten rid of the symbiote.
Like, surely he's got to come back for Carnage.
Absolutely fucks him up in the opening mission.
Maybe he's got to come back for Carnage DLC, though, right? Even though he's retired. Because I don't think that's Miles can't deal with that because he wasn't even involved in any of it.
Yeah.
Maybe Carnage will rip the symbiote out of him, and that's how he loses the symbiote suit or something like that. Maybe that's how it plays out in the DLC. We'll see. Because Carnage will just do some magic.
Oh, one thing we haven't talked about: the Black Cat mission. That was cool.
That was pretty sick.
That was like one of the coolest moments in that whole game.
Here's the power of the PS5 right here, guys.
Legit.
Here's the Ratchet and Clank moment.
Yeah, legit. They were like in something like, remember the Ratchet and Clank? We can do that.
I would have liked it if more of the portals went to somewhere that wasn't
New York
in front of you.
Yeah, because I did test this. because I went through a portal. I looked at the map before I went through, and then I looked at the map after I went through, and I'd literally moved like a few blocks. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought they were like doing it all around New York.
In like the fucking Antarctica or whatever.
That was cool. And when she brought the train through, that was fucking sick.
Yeah.
I love that shit. That was probably one of my favorite missions in the game because it was just wild. Like
it was one of the more cinematic ones, wasn't it? It was good. Good. I'm glad you survived because that meant you can be used in the next games as well.
In France.
I'm sad that Wong just sent you a note and didn't appear himself because I was like, oh, Wong's going to appear and it's going to be really hot. And then it didn't happen.
No Wong.
I wanted sexy Wong. I wanted some Wong dog.
Wow. Wong dog.
I was thinking we was going to see the inside of the sector.
Yeah, I thought we were going to go in there and then just.
I was like, oh, never mind.
What else was there? Yeah, I like Black Cat missions. I think that was cool. I think that really showed, obviously, like you said, the power of the PS5, like how quick all that can load in. I really liked the start of the game with the Sandman boss battle.
Yeah, that was great. And the individual Sandman stuff was cool. And when you finished this stuff off, that was good.
Yeah. But like that boss battle at the start, that like when it throws you and it loads in the map that quickly as it's throwing you, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like how
I think they could have done a bit better, like linked in with what you said about going in the Sanctum, is something that I noticed that the Guardians of the Galaxy game did quite well. And it's like world building around characters that aren't the focus.
Yeah.
So like in the Guardians game, like you can go in the Collector's Museum and there's like Kang's helmet, there's like Thor.
Yeah.
There's like loads of like different links to like other properties and stuff that even though those characters might not be able to appear for whatever issue.
Yeah, they're evolved.
There's little bits of lore about them. So like you know what they're up to and you know that they're present in the world. And apart from the Avengers Tower and the Sanctum just being there.
Oh, and don't forget the Fantastic Four building. That's in this now. Did you see that?
Like hinted though.
It's like full on it's full on top of the bloody building, the big four.
Yeah, that could just be graffiti.
Yeah, someone just graffitied the big Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they
could. The rumors of him bringing Daredevil in for the DLC as well, isn't there?
Yeah. I've seen that. Like someone have found like a hidden room with like a bunch of stuff in there. People saying it's the Hand from Daredevil.
They should bring Daredevil in because when they were advertising the game, and they were talking about Kraven, they're like, "Oh, all kinds of heroes live in New York," you know. And then
all Spider people.
None of them.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I would like to see something done with Daredevil. I don't think it'd be playable, but just having the mission, like taking down the Hand with him fighting with you, would be cool. Because obviously, like we fought with Miles, we fought with like in the little side missions you do, that you can have more than just Miles turn up. You can have Harry turn up before he was like big boy Venom. You could have Rafe turn up. Yeah.
I get Rafe all the time now.
Yeah, but like having them turn up to fight while you're just doing the side missions was really cool. So I feel like they could do that with Daredevil.
They should make Mary Jane Iron Spider.
See, I'm kind of glad they didn't go the Mary Jane route in terms of becoming a Spider-Man.
Yeah, some sort of superhero.
Yeah, like I'm glad with the end credit scene that they're hitting towards Silk with Cindy Moon, because like that's not done ever really, other than in the comics. So I'm excited for them to go down that route.
And you don't want too many Spider people.
Yeah.
Either.
But like Spider-Man 3, guarantee you it'll be all three of them because it's got the 3 in the name. Just like two Spider-Men. Like they'll just do Peter, Miles, and Cindy.
Do you know the character that was an absolute waste of time?
Who?
Go on.
What, I don't even know what her name is. The Spider-Verse reference character.
Oh,
yeah. That was from the film.
Yeah. Things.
Right.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing with that. It's like, because he was in the movie, you kind of get excited seeing all these portals, like knowing what you're collecting. And then when the portal shows up, and you're like, oh shit, we've seen this portal before. We know what this is from. And then it just turns out to be a character that you don't know. That I only knew who it was because of the fucking art book that I looked at in Forbidden Planet.
I literally had to Google it. I was like, should I know who this person is? So I Googled her and they're like, oh yeah, she was cut from the movie. And I'm like, then why
Yeah,
That could have been literally
anybody.
of the millions of spider people.
Do you know who it should have been? Spider-Bite. The one that's
Yeah.
like in the VR headset, and that's why she's there
Yeah.
in the movie. Like that, it should have been her. Like,
And we'll explain her making the robot spiders as well.
yeah, makes more sense than just random woman
Or
in the
just
bar.
like Miguel being like, "Oh, we're monitoring this universe." That's what the spider bots.
Do you know what I would have absolutely loved? And would have been a really amazing like tie-in. At any point during the game, Spot just puts his head in like he does with all the portals in the film.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? You just like swinging away and Spot just sticks his head in and looks around. That would have been a sit tie-in and would have been very easy to do. You know what I mean? He wouldn't even have to say anything because people would have known what it was from. I thought that would have been cool, but oh well. The mention of Miguel is cool, but like clearly when
I would have rather saw him.
Yeah, but clearly when Peter's in the movie, it's after whatever happens in the next Spider-Man, I guess, because obviously he doesn't recognize the portal, he doesn't know who Miguel is, so clearly in the movie it's way after, you know, where we are in the games. So they've got to do it at some point, surely.
Oh yeah, of course, because they're in the movies, aren't they?
Yeah.
He's in the movie.
So like that's got to be after Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I wonder if they're ever going to do anything with that.
But then again, if that's the case, does that mean they can't change his suit anymore? Because he's wearing the current suit.
Or maybe he just did it and thought it was like a weird dream he had, and then because nothing's ever mentioned again.
Yeah, maybe he got like mind wiped.
Yeah, maybe they'll have a way of explaining it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just didn't think about it that much.
No, they were like, "This is cool. Let's do this."
We're trying to put that Star Wars level theory stuff into it, where really no one gives a shit.
Yeah, they didn't think about this. The developers are will probably like listen to people talk about this and think, "Oh fuck, we got to figure something out now."
I was saying this yesterday. Like, I've got the Star Wars timeline book and the MCU timeline book, and the Star Wars one does so much to like where things don't make sense. They like bend over backwards to make it make sense.
Yeah.
And the Marvel one's just like, this person said this happened in 2012, and this person said it happened in 2016. Aren't we funny? Ha ha ha. And it's like Marvel don't care about continuity or.
No.
Are you going to go still watch the movies? Yes, then shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's fucking true. It's fucking true. Even if they are continuously getting more terrible. But yeah.
Sit down and consume, plebeian.
Star Wars like owes its nerd fans the most minute like explanation of literally everything that appears on that screen.
Yeah, Rogue One.
Like,
Rogue One was that.
It is what it is.
Speaking of that, like, do you reckon? Obviously, we're getting Wolverine next from Insomniac. Do you reckon they're building their own sort of Avengers to build up to that eventually? Do you reckon they have any idea of what they could do with that? Do you reckon they're planning
Probably
that?
not an Avengers, but like I definitely think they're building their own like universe. I don't know what they're going to do with that universe, but it'd be cool to see.
Kind of interesting we didn't get any like tie into Wolverine in this game, but I kind of can't see where it would have.
There's the like broken down Battered X mansion.
Yeah, true.
But again, that's like what I was saying earlier. They're just like, here's this building. But you don't get to have any explanation of what it is, why it is, who's there, why they're there.
I did see that. Is this giant mansion just on the outskirts of New York City, like just doing nothing?
Yeah.
Got the big X on it.
And again, there's a little X on the roof, and that's like, wow.
Yeah. I'd like to see them kind of do what the MCU has done and build a kind of universe.
And in fact, they did it a lot better in Spider-Man 1. Because Spider-Man 1, you had the camera collectibles.
Yeah.
And you'd like fly around and take a picture and be like, oh, this is like Rand Industries.
Yeah. This is Jessica Jones's place.
Like, something like, oh, I met Danny Rand once.
Yeah.
And
they kind of do mention
Rand.
Rand. I'm pretty sure they mentioned Rand somewhere. Someone's doing like
says it's scholarship
and I was like, oh, cool. Are they going to do anything with that? No.
And, like, you see all these landmarks in 2, and like just Peter doesn't comment on them. Miles doesn't comment on them. The only one that you can interact with is the Wakanda one. And like
you can interact that as Venom, but not Peter
with it.
as well, which is weird. But yeah, it's just kind of like it's there, but not built upon. Really. Yeah, I get what you mean.
When it was in one, it's kind of disappointing to see him take like back steps on things.
Yeah. It's very likely done on purpose though, because they want people to like figure it out for themselves, and like they want people to speculate rather than too much, because that gets them talking more.
Yeah.
And if they just tell you everything, then you already know everything, and there's nothing to.
I do know the guy got asked about Daredevil in terms of like potential DLC or just like him turning up at some point, and he basically was like, maybe. So I reckon that's definitely going to be a thing, but I think that'll be an interesting start at least.
I was disappointed in the crimes in this game.
Yeah, I just barely used them. I barely did them. I didn't bother.
They weren't as good. They're like in Miles Morales, they appeared on the app, and then for some reason in this game they didn't.
Yeah.
And like once you're at the end of the game, they're all symbiotes, and there's no variety. Even after you finish the game, they're all symbiotes. And
not all. They've still got some of the, because it's always, I get the one where it's like the flame people versus the symbiote people. So it's sort of symbiotes, but not, Because that was annoying, because I was trying to get the platinum, and I had to do the thing with the web line, where you're taking so many down with the web line. And literally, I was just web lining. So you have to, because the symbiotes just detect you.
Yeah.
You can't even do anything. I just killed all the symbiotes.
That's literally one of the last trophies I've got left to do, and because the symbiotes can just...
Okay, I'll give you a hint with this. We'll see what I did. I played as Miles, killed all the symbiotes first, went invisible, just shut up to the wall, waited for them to not know I was there, and then did my web line across from a building to a lamppost, and then to the other lampposts, and then just kind of like shot a bin, and then they all just came over one by one, and I just web zipped them up, and that's how I got that trophy. And it took me ages, because it took me ages to realise what to do. But
when the new patch comes out, the new Game Plus patch, you'll be able to select the missions as well. So you just go back.
That's a patch.
Yeah.
It wasn't for Miles, so like they should have stuck with that.
The one it is, I want people to go back and play it again. It is.
Who has time for that at the moment? No one.
The last thing that disappointed me was the suits.
The selection wasn't as good as it was in Spider-Man 1. Not even nearly.
All of the suits from Spider-Man 1 should have just been in it to start with.
Yeah.
I heard someone ask the guy about this, and he was like, "It's a licensing issue." He said there probably will be eventually. It's just that the license run out for him, so they have to get him again, basically.
Yeah.
So there probably eventually will be in there.
That and just did it like.
I liked.
Renew the license. Like.
This is their biggest game ever. That PlayStation's ever had is Spider-Man 1 and now Spider-Man 2. Like.
Yeah, definitely best.
Paying it in time to figure that shit out. Come on, guys. Yeah. There's no excuse there, really.
But I like some of the suits. I just there wasn't that much of a variety. But to be fair, I'm not gonna lie. Like as soon as I got the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit for Peter, that's the one I used. I didn't use any other suit. Yeah, but that's the best Spider-Man suit they've ever done.
Right.
At least in the movies.
No, I kept the original suit, the original the Spider-Man.
The classic.
Suit.
Oh,
the classic suit.
Did you have the White Spider suit?
No.
Yeah, no one likes that suit.
No,
it's like the main suit. No one likes it.
The original.
The original with the small spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the newest MCU one, like the shiny one that he wears for about 2 seconds.
Yeah, the one with the really, really shiny blue trouser bit. Yeah. I unlocked that way too late. I was like, well, I'm a symbiote now. Because as soon as I got like the Venom ones, I kept the Venom suit on because I'm not gonna, because it looked weird. I changed it to the other one, and I was like, when I use the Venom, it's just like it doesn't look right. And then as soon as I got the white symbiote, I just changed to that. So I just never go back to my normal Spider-Man suit at that point because it's like it looks weird. It doesn't canonically work in my head that you would have a Venom power coming out of a normal suit.
How does clothes work on Peter now? Like, does he just think of clothes and they happen?
I mean, that saves a lot of money. You can put that towards a mortgage, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, does he never have to worry about that again?
I mean, honestly, that's what I'd want the symbiote for. That's the only thing I'd use it for.
If Peter and MJ had kids, would they be like half alien?
I assume to do this, the deed, he takes the fucking suit off, but you never know. They might be into it.
Well, that'll be the storyline, won't it? Is that when they go to have kids, she'll just die because of all that radioactive jizz.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
They do have kids in the comics, so that's clearly not how that works, but still.
Well, in one of the comics, that's how she dies, I'm just saying.
True. Yeah, they don't really other than that one, they don't really think about that, do they?
No. I don't think that'll come up in the video game, funnily enough.
See, if they had a codex, it could come up there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was annoying. As I like the suits, they've got them there, but in the first one, I'm pretty sure they had a description of where all the suits were from in terms of comics and stuff.
Way less world building.
And then in this one, there was just no description whatsoever for any of them.
And a bunch of the suits in the first game was linked to abilities, and in this there was nothing.
Yeah.
Did people like the change in the web gadgets?
He must have been lying about those suits.
Why?
Because if it's a licensing issue, how come the Spider-Bots got to wear the outfits?
I assume. I don't know. I imagine that's from the Spider-Verse thing that they had going.
Yeah, but if it's like the Ghost Rider Spider, if say they lost the license to that suit, so they couldn't use it.
I don't know.
Spider-Bot? Because they're talking out their ass. They want to release it as DLC later, so nerds will pay for it.
Yeah, that's what that'll be.
Wait, they didn't release them as DLC on the last one, did you? No one paid for suits, right?
Well, with patches.
Yeah, I ain't paying that. I ain't paying for suits.
I just want people to get back into
part of the DLC.
Yeah.
Do you know what? The one thing I wish they did with suits, the Spider-Verse suits. I wish you could turn the animation style off. Like you can, you change the frames and stuff, but they still look animated. You can't. I want them to look like that, but they don't look out of place in the physical world that you're in.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah, the art style,
not
the animation, the art style.
Yeah. So not the frame rate stuff. I think that's cool, but it's nauseating when you're swinging around with that.
It is. I was like, oh, this is cool, and I literally kept it on for one fight, and I was like, this is going on right now.
But I think you can turn that off. But if I just want them to look, they look so out of place in the world that I never wear them because it's just like.
Yeah, but that's the point. That's like
no, but I want the option to have them animated and video game animated.
The Spider-Man noir suit, like you should have the normal noir suit.
Like they didn't want.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they didn't want. Yeah, exactly. What mode did you guys? What performance mode did you guys play the game in?
Performance.
Performance.
I ain't playing. They're all ray tracing.
They're all ray tracing, yeah.
Which is wild, but yeah.
I don't know them. I've no idea.
Did not even look. I can't be swinging around New York at 30 FPS. Can't be doing it. So
I played in the performance, but because of the TV I've got, I had the 40 FPS, and that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that felt pretty good.
That's what I would have picked if my TV was good enough for that.
Yeah, well, that's on you.
I know. I'll get a new TV soon.
That worked really nice. So I like that.
But I like that you don't really feel like you're missing out on anything with it being 60 FPS because the ray tracing is still there. It still looks really good. It's like I did switch between the two just to see the difference, and I was like, it doesn't look that different. It feels different at 30 FPS, so I couldn't go back. Couldn't go to 30 FPS.
Look, I did try the 30 FPS, and it just feels very different.
So,
on the version,
but it looks it looks nice both.
The game looks fantastic. The game's one of the best looking games on the PlayStation, easily. With the vastness of it and how detailed New York is, and all the stuff they've got to do when in fights and everything, it looks great.
Yeah, a lot of people saying, the New York don't look that different. If you look at them side by fucking side, it fucking does.
I have no idea. Yeah, actually, I have no idea.
Like, there's so many more people, so many more cars, which makes sense for New York. Whereas in the first one, there was barely any cars around, and you're like, is this New York really?
Like if you just go down to ground level and just walk around for a bit, it doesn't look like the sort of game that would go out of place with somebody just. The whole game is somebody just walking around. Like if you were to take Spider-Man out of that situation and drop Daredevil in it, it still looks a good game when you're at ground level. But you don't see that because you're going past 1,000 miles an hour. But the fact that it still looks that good at that level is very impressive. To be fair, it's very impressive. So it's a really good looking game. They've put the effort in, and they obviously they know what they're doing. They're owned by PlayStation, and they've always done fantastic optimization in their game.
I don't know how they get their games out so fucking quickly. Like. They've had 4 games on the PS5, and which is 3 more than most of the developers for PS5 have had. You know what I mean? That's wild that they get that. They can pull that off.
What did they bring out on PS4? They had 2 Spider-Man games on what's Miles Morales on PS4?
Yes, it was a cross one, so yeah.
So they brought out 3 games on PS4. They've got, is it 3 games on PS5 already?
Well, if you count the remastered version of Spider-Man 1.
I would.
Yeah.
So you've got that, Miles, Ratchet, and this. That's 4.
4 games.
And it hasn't, like, they've basically got a game every year, which is wild, like how quickly they make these games.
And they're not small games either. Like, these games take a while to complete, and they're high quality.
Oh no, but Corey, they're not long enough according to some people.
This was fine.
This was long enough, especially at the moment when there's too many games to play.
Yeah, it was absolutely.
I was glad it was short.
I don't feel like I was caught short with this game. Absolutely fine. It's just mad. It's just mad. And then they're doing it at such a high quality. And you look what Naughty Dog's doing right now. So what are you doing? You're cancelling your multiplayer game you've been working on for 9 years. What is going on?
Don't get me started on PlayStation and their fucking multiplayer games.
It's insane, man. It's insane. But yeah, no, just they're with Insomniac. They've got such a good studio. I mean, they made they made that Sunshine game. What was it on?
Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive.
Brilliant game.
That as well.
Best Xbox One game that came out.
They are churning them out, so they know what they're doing and they know how to do it at a good pace. And you don't hear complaints about that company, like with grinding and everything. So.
No. And like we've barely heard anything about Wolverine, but I bet that comes out next year. You know what I mean? It's like it's one of them where it's like normally when you haven't heard about anything, you just assume it's ages away. But I feel like they showed Spider-Man 2. They showed Spider-Man 2 like 6 months before it actually came out, and then that was it.
Yeah, they need something for next year. They need something for next
year.
They
do, because we don't know what PlayStation are doing next year.
Well, next year it'll be Spider-Man DLC, so you might get like another Miles like expansion-esque sort of thing.
Who do you think that's if they do that? Who do you think that's going to be, or do you think it will be Miles too?
That might be the Carnage stuff.
Because I feel like that would be more DLC than just a standalone. I'm on about like you know how like Miles was a standalone game. Do you think they do another one of those?
I think the only way that they do that is if Silk already has powers.
Yeah. Or she gets them in the DLC, wherever we get.
Yeah.
Like if we get DLC and then Silk's involved and then we figure out she got powers and all that. And then they do a Silk game.
Exactly what I was talking about, and have people have like the Peter and Miles teaching her how to do the spider people things.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what.
Well, I feel like you wouldn't even need Peter at that point. I feel like Miles could teach her because he's become basically he is his own Spider-Man now. He doesn't need necessarily teaching by Peter, which I also liked at the end.
This universe has she happened already?
Who's that?
I believe.
Who?
Gwen Stacy.
No, I don't think so. But I'm kind of glad they didn't go that. I'm glad they didn't go that route. Like Gwen's everywhere these days. Like because of like Spider-Verse, people like really latched onto her on Spider-Verse, and she's just everywhere these days. So I'm kind of glad they didn't do Gwen.
I'm a little bit upset that Venom's just one and done when it comes to the games. Like Venom's I really like Venom, and
I've heard people saying, "Oh, we might get a Venom like spin-off," and I'm like, "But
he's fucking dead."
He's kind of
literally fried on the ground.
I mean, they can find a way of, he's just a part of the symbiote, I guess, maybe. Like, I'm sure they can find a way, but like, I don't know, it's just a bit. I don't even know if I'd want that as a game. Because
it's a separate game. He can come back as through Eddie Brock and then have Eddie Brock as Venom.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to see a Silk game though. I think like that's definitely the route they should go at some point because you just don't get enough Silk. And I'm interested like where they're going to go with her story because she normally has a very interesting relationship with Peter, but I feel like with this they're going to switch that to Miles. And
I see absolutely no way how they will do a Green Goblin main villain without it being about Peter. It has to be.
Yeah. And
if it isn't, people will be very disappointed, and they won't do that. They won't do that because they want to sell the big money. So that's going to be the real reason.
I think that
Peter will come back because they want to sell Peter.
Yeah, but in terms of the Silk storyline, and this, I don't know how much you know, Corey, so I don't want to spoil anything for you. But like,
I've sold barely anything.
Okay, so
You spoil anything though. Like the game, there's no third game. This is all fictitious right now.
No, I know, but like it might spoil something that you're going to play eventually in the future.
What?
She has a very special relationship with Peter normally, where they're bitten by the same spider.
Are they?
So they have a very interesting connection.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they bang a lot?
They want to fuck.
They can't help it. It just they get the urge whenever they're around each other.
They
I don't know how
like,
I don't think they're going to
pheromone or something.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go that level in the game. Like I don't think it's going to be that deep, if you pardon the pun.
No.
But like, I don't think they're going to do it with Peter.
14 years old.
I think they'll do it with Miles in terms of like them having a close relationship. I don't think they're going to be fucking, but like obviously, I don't think that. I just have a feeling they won't do it with Peter. I feel like that because obviously she's with Miles in the end credit scene. I think she's going to be more attached to that side of things, and that'd be different from what's normally done in the comics. So
and she's like a child, so it'd be weird.
Yeah,
she's a child.
He's like a 30-year-old man, so I feel like they have to go the Miles route at this point.
How old is Peter meant to be in these games?
30-ish.
Yeah, I think so. Probably around that.
Got a mortgage. He's old enough to get a mortgage. So yeah, I know, but I doubt Peter Parker as a character would have a mortgage at 18.
It's just unusual. How old is Peter Parker?
It's got to be like late 20s, early 30s.
At the start of Marvel Spider-Man, Peter is 23.
No.
I suppose this makes sense why they made him look more twinky.
In Spider-Man 2, he's 25.
Huh. I mean, he looks more his age now then, because before he did look like a 30-year-old man. But I still don't like how he looks. But
I can see why they changed the face, knowing that he's 25.
Yeah. How old's Miles then in this one? 17?
Miles is like 16, 17, right?
He's 14 in his own game, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's applying for college, so he's got to be.
So he's got to be like 16, 17.
So you do that when you leave high school when you're 18, so he's got to be America, 17, 18.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So he came to Peter when he was 16.
I think he was 14 in the first game.
That can't be. Peter can't be 23 and 25 now.
Oh, yeah.
And then he has skipped 4 years. That's how math works.
No, where did I get 14 from then? Oh, no, I'm thinking Spider-Verse movies. My bad. Yeah, so he must have been like 16-ish.
He must have been about 16, yeah. Makes sense.
Anything else we want to talk about? Like any...
No, just like the gameplay is so much better than the first game. Like they've really tightened everything up.
Yeah.
What setting did you have the split swinging on?
You mean like the percentage of how much help it gives you?
Yeah.
5.
I put it on 5. I turned it down.
Yeah.
I turned it down to 5. And that felt like Spider-Man 1 to me then, so I kept it there.
Yeah, I feel like it was giving you too much help otherwise.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, there's a setting you can turn down that helps you with the swinging.
I'm baby mode the whole game.
I've got a confession to make about how I play every game. Is that I play with a lot of accessibility settings.
I turned on some accessibility settings, like the bullshit ones that do my head in. Like we have to match a button, just change it to hold. I'm gonna do it either way. I might as well just hold the button instead. What other ones were there? I turned on the accessibility option, which makes the the crates that you can find. It makes them like shine a brighter colour because actors running around the entire city trying to find a bunch of them.
Yeah, but you know what though? There's a whole like once you get a certain, I think you do a mission, you get the thing that tells you where they are anyway. You don't. I was going around collecting every single one, thinking it was going to be tied to a fucking trophy, and it wasn't. And I was like, oh, this wasted so much time.
So many of them as well.
They're like on every other building.
Yeah, and a couple of them. Nothing that really changes the game. It makes it easier. It just makes it more convenient.
Yeah.
That's the sort of stuff we're changing in these games. Thank God for the accessibility settings though, because Sony's so good with that sort of stuff.
Well, that's funny. It's puzzles because I do not like puzzles in this game. They're so boring.
They're better than they were in the first one.
Because I need to. I skip them because I want to.
I like that's an option where you just press start and it goes skip puzzle. I'm like, I didn't do it because I was like, I can't do that to myself. I have to do it myself because otherwise, I don't. But like, I was like, I like that it's an option because if you just get so frustrated, you're not
This is why
stuck.
I complete games faster than you, because I skip half of it.
The puzzles were better than they were in the first game. I still don't think they needed.
The only one that I played was the one where you have to play as the bee.
Yeah, where you shooting the little fake bees.
That was the only puzzle I did myself in that game.
The other one where I didn't like the one where you had to get rid of all like the different molecule things to create. That was annoying. I was just like, I'll do it.
Took me a while, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it, but it's like, this isn't fun. Like, they're better than the ones.
You had to ride a bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a fun one. I like that one.
It was so weird. I suddenly got a boost button. Okay, then sure.
But yeah, like, it's just a much improved game.
Yeah.
Didn't need to be like dramatically different, and it wasn't, and I was happy with that because it's just like it was really good the first time.
How dramatically different can you make it from a gameplay perspective? Like if you change the first one, nailed it so well that if you made it too different, people have been like, "What the hell are you doing?" For something that's the only thing that can really change mainly is the story and some of your ability.
The characters, that's all they can do, really.
Yeah,
I think Spider-Man 3 will have the other half. So, like, you've got like Manhattan in the middle, and then like Brooklyn, Queens on that side. Do you reckon it'll have the other half?
Probably. They're just gonna keep adding onto the map what they want. Like, eventually they'll stop at some point, I assume. Do you reckon we just get 3 games? Do you reckon we get a trilogy?
I reckon probably.
Because like
it's their biggest ever game.
No, I know we're getting another game. I'm just saying, like, do you reckon they stop there? At least for a bit.
I don't know, because in the post-credit scene, Doc Ock was like, "Oh, I'm writing the final chapter."
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like,
Doesn't mean shit.
Is it though?
Until they run out of money and then realise they need more chapters.
That was the thing I was going to ask.
I think it'll be the last game with Peter in it.
What do you think the chances are that Doc Ock ends up in Peter's body like he does?
That would be so
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That would be off the wall.
What if they did it?
That's the kind of mad shit that they do as
well. I know, yeah. What if they did it in the third game and you didn't find out till later that you were playing as Doc Ock all this time?
Maybe that's what he's doing. He's making the machine that lets him do that.
That would be such fun.
That'd be such a wild thing they could do, and if they could pull it off, that'd be so good. But they could fuck that up very easily, though. That's the only thing.
And Pete is the main villain. Peter is the main villain for Spider-Man 3.
That'd be sick. I kind of want that. I kind of expected that to be what happens in this one with him getting the Venom stuff. I thought we did fight him, but I thought it'd be like we'd end up killing him at the end or something.
That fight with Peter and Miles was sick. That was an awesome fight.
Yeah.
I've got some really good pictures,
screenshots
from that. Oh my god, that was a really. I enjoyed that a lot.
Another thing I love in these games.
That's the only fight that's been multiple twice.
I really like the photo mode in this game as well. Like I always do. Like in these types of games, PlayStation are good with their photo modes.
Yeah, they are. Cool. All right, anything else? We got about Spider-Man 2?
No, it was very good.
No,
it was a very good game. I very much enjoyed the game. I will go back and play it again at some point, but there's just too much going on right now. Yeah. I am balls deep in Alan Wake, and I'm loving every second of it.
Me too. That'll probably be the next one of these that we do.
Yeah, that's insane game of the year. Yeah,
Jay, you need to play it. Honestly, it's that good.
No, but then I need to play Alan Wake 1.
Alan Wake 1's a great game.
I don't think you do though.
No, but like,
have you played Control?
I have played Control.
Okay, that's fine then, because you definitely need to play Control before you play this as well.
I guess.
Alan Wake for the simple reason that Nathan 2 years ago nagged me to buy it him while it was on sale.
Yeah.
Has he played it? No. So I'm not playing it until he plays it.
Yeah.
But Jake's never going to play Alan Wake 2.
Nathan will be playing Baldur's Gate for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, Lord.
Have you played Baldur's Gate, Corey?
Mate, if I had played Baldur's Gate, you think of any time for any other game?
I mean, yeah. You should play it. It's very good.
No, I've not played Baldur's Gate. I'll get to Baldur's Gate maybe in 5 or 6 years.
I was going to say, do you plan to play it?
You'll still laugh, Nathan. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I'll get to it eventually. I'll put off the main. Look, I don't like that style of combat in games, but I'll deal with it.
Honestly, I don't think I would either. Surprisingly, like you can do a lot with it. It's
yeah.
I'm a little bit of a turn-based fan this year, Chris.
I know. Not just this year, like just the last few years. I still need to finish Persona 5 though. That's my Nathan game. That's gonna take me ages.
Persona 5 soon. I'm literally gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna finish Persona 3 Reload when it comes out before 5. I guarantee that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'll get there. Games are too long, and at least this year, there's not enough time to play all the games. But there's so many games I've skipped out on that I want to go back to after this year finishes, because there's like I just haven't had time to play all.
Next year. There's nothing there.
Well, there's a few things at the start of the year, like we got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
What's out next year?
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
That's not going to be the end of the year, though.
Nope, February.
Persona 3.
It's February, Corey.
Oh, is it fair?
Yeah.
I best get around to playing the first Final Fantasy.
Yes, you should. Then you got Persona 3 remake.
February, the year of the JRPG remake.
This is the year of the weebs. That's what this is. Yeah.
It's not a year for you, Corey. It's not for you.
It's the year of the 20-year-old weebs.
There is other stuff coming, probably, but you know what? We just don't actually know, do we?
Nothing's been announced. Stuff will get announced later that year.
I'm sure we'll get announcements at the Game Awards.
I'm sure we'll get Call of Duty. I'm sure we'll get not FIFA. We'll get all that.
Not FIFA. I don't even know what it's called these days.
EA football, isn't it?
You can tell I've been hanging around with Jack, can't
you? But yeah, it's a very good year for video games. And the game, I'm more excited to watch. Normally, I'm more excited to watch the Game Awards because of what they're going to show in terms of new announcements. But I'm actually more excited to watch it this year, just to see who wins the stuff. Because it's like half the games that come out this year, any other year would have won Game of the Year.
Yeah, but they get people to judge these games, and these people that get to judge the Game of the Year stuff, like they haven't played all the games on that list.
No,
because they'll get content creators to do it and stuff, and then they'll get a content creator that like specialises in FPS games to put their bit in. It's like, well, they're not going to play Alan Wake, so they're obviously not going to go for that.
I think Baldur's Gate will win Game of the Year, though.
It should.
I want Alan Wake. I want Baldur's Gate. Either way, I don't really mind with them too, as long as Tears of the Kingdom doesn't win it.
Baldur's Gate has got so many people that I would never have in my life thought I'd see play that type of game. So heavily invested. And like, it was like a whole moment in gaming. Like, the same way Elden Ring was. And Elden Ring
100%.
It deserves to win.
Yeah, I think it will. But we'll see. We'll see, because it's not that far away.
No.
And we'll be reacting to that, more than likely.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll.
Anyway, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that jazz. Let us know in the comments what you thought of Spider-Man 2's story and where you think it might be going. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.